I just came across this stat today, and it's quite amazing in a bad way for Canada. America has 50 companies that are bigger than Canada's biggest company. This does not make any sense logically. The American population is only about 8.3 times the size of Canada. So obviously it makes sense that there would be more large companies there, but not over 50 before you get to one in Canada. I mean, that is not, something is completely off. Canada and USA share many of the same benefits as one another. Like we have those massive oceans separating us from potential enemies, good infrastructure for the most part, good rule of law for the most part, pretty educated populations. Probably the one advantage they have outside of maybe like they probably have more of a history of capitalism and kind of appreciating that a little bit more than Canada. They also have a little bit better climate. Like it's obviously California versus Manitoba or something. Makes sense why more people would move there, but still, it should not be this skewed. Look at this. Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft. And by the way, a lot of these are new companies here. That's probably the most alarming part, that Canada is just not a lot of innovation happening in Canada in recent years for sure compared to USA. Berkshire Hathaway, like, and there's still some mature ones. Walmart, JP Morgan Chase, Costco. The Costco guys get a chicken bake. Can't even get a chicken bake in Canada. But I think you can get a double chunk chocolate cookie. Coca-Cola. See, we're still not even like the biggest Canadian company rather is Royal Bank, RBC, 175 market cap. These numbers, by the way, are adjusted to USD. So you still got here. We're still above RBC, still above RBC. It takes until, yeah, RBC would be the 51st biggest company in America. Just barely. But that isn't that incredible? Walt Disney, all these companies are bigger than Canada's biggest company. We should be, like, if it was just a true comparison and we were like at a similar level, you'd think we'd be number 8 or number 9 or maybe number 5 or maybe number 15, somewhere in that range, not number 51. And then even still, to get to number 2, which is Shopify, which is our basically Canada's only, pretty much only well-known major technology, information technology success story of the last few years. There's other ones that are like a little smaller, but that would be, Shopify's down at around 116, like the 86th biggest American company, just ahead of Nike. So it's quite incredible that all the major companies in North America, for the most part, come out of the United States. Canada really has to figure this out, just for a matter of like it being a nice place to live. There's so many people being priced out of things because you don't have those great companies here, and then therefore you get rising wages and stuff like that. Like the people that would work at these major American companies, this represents for the average person a ton of jobs. It's not just a return in your stock market portfolio. Like if you're a person working at Caterpillar, at General Electric, maybe more so before that, maybe wasn't the best one to pick out, but Netflix and stuff, that represents a lot of six-figure jobs at all these companies. And in Canada, just the harsh reality is there's a lack of those great paying jobs here, as evidenced with our flat economy and the fact that a lot of people in our younger generations cannot afford homes. Like even if you just search into YouTube, Canada economy, it's all just impossible. Horrific economy. Canada's economy is pathetic. Why Canada's economy is doing surprisingly badly. Like this is CBC, by the way. Like they wouldn't be necessarily sensationalist. The cost of Canada's lagging economy. GDP per capita. Look at this. We used to be pretty close to the United States. Basically, there's a period around when Bill Clinton was in where it looks like in the 90s, I know America did have a pretty roaring economy. But basically before then, and even for like around the '08 crisis, even in the years following that, look, like 2013, we're pretty close to them. We're almost now at a point where they're about double, at least approaching being on average double or twice as productive as a Canadian. That has so many real world ramifications. when we're not growing like that, like the United States are, like Canada's fertility rate, this is a problem in lots of developed countries, but we're getting now close to the bottom of the entire barrel for the entire world. We're approaching South Korea and Japan levels of fertility rate crisis, under 1.3 now children per woman, which is like way below the 2.1 replacement rate. I think something like 97% of our population growth in the last year came from immigration, and only like 2.5% was from natural increase. That is incredible, and a humongous part of that is because our economy is not growing anymore. It's not as exciting of a place to be. A lot of our top talent goes to the United States. Just there's not as much incentive to start families when you don't know if you're going to have a great job and be able to actually afford to raise that kid, where y'all going to live, etc. And look, to make matters even worse, Donald Trump for Canada, Donald Trump was just reelected, and he's going to be probably very pro-growth. Even the Democrat Party in the United States, it seems like, is more pro-growth than our Canadian parties are. Right now, I would for sure argue that if you watch our question period in Canada, there's not a lot of talk about economic growth. It's very disappointing, actually. A lot of talk of it is about regulating basically our biggest industries, oil and gas, mining, stuff like that. It's ridiculous, I think. So basically, based on that, look, 2013, this is pre-Trump. If Trump gets a second term, I mean, it's probably going to be pro-growth again. The stock market has went up. It's already anticipating that. This gap might get even bigger. Canada's going to have to adjust. As an example, look at the difference in the mentalities USA and Canada has toward energy. And by the way, energy matters way more to Canada even than it does to USA, just because it's such a massive part of our economy. It matters a lot to USA as well, but USA has a whole bunch more going on in terms of economic growth. Like, for example, just the massive tech companies like Google and Facebook.
Is the first thing you would do to help bring down the cost to make things more affordable?
Drill, baby, drill.
See, and Donald Trump is just not apologetic about that. He knows that there's the whole climate crusade saying, oh, we can't do this, blah, blah, blah. In Canada, look, we have to do it. We have to look at the bigger picture. So many young Canadians can't afford life. It's getting to a part where you're ruining people's lives because they can't afford to live. They can't afford to start families. The fertility rate in places like Vancouver, I'm pretty sure in Vancouver it's like 0.9. People just can't afford to live life. It's not fair to have a bunch of people in your younger generation just resign to living with roommates or living in their parents' basement. We need to be doing all we can in Canada to raise our economy. And then, by the way, the environmental stuff, develop new technology, stuff like that. Do what Elon Musk does. Go work at Tesla. We shouldn't just be trying to regulate a massive part of our economy. Listen to our Minister of Climate Change and Environment. So compare this to Donald Trump's statement about drill, baby, drill.
Today, we've released draft regulations to cap pollution from oil and gas. These new regulations will hold big polluters accountable for their emissions because the cap is on pollution, not production. It will encourage the industry to invest in projects that lower emissions, enabling cleaner, more efficient production, while creating new clean tech jobs.
I don't know about that. New clean tech jobs. That's not how you create jobs. Jobs are created through innovation that the private sector wants, not just from a regulation that gets imposed by the government. It's like a make work type job. And then listen to this next part.
It's good for the economy.
I can't take the gaslighting anymore.
Clean tech jobs. It's good for the economy, it's good for jobs, and it's good for the environment.
How? How is it? Look, this government's been in power for 9 years. It's not good for the economy. I cannot handle the gaslighting anymore that this is somehow good for the economy. What's good for the economy is you provide goods and services that people want in just the free market. That's what's good for the economy, not messing with things. It is just a lie. I don't even know if you can claim it's just ignorance. It's just not true. It's not how the economies run in a market system. And trying to fix the market, trying to play the market has been proven over and over throughout history that it doesn't work, especially on a huge scale like this. So anyway, yeah, Canada's got a rough go of it. It's just incredible how so many American companies are just lapping even the biggest companies that we have in Canada. I'll finish the video here, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. But thank you for watching. Have a great day.